In the year 2000, a neuroscientist named Erik Kandel stood on a stage in Stockholm and received the Nobel Prize. His discovery, made decades earlier, had shattered a belief that had held humanity captive for centuries. The belief was this: that the adult brain is fixed, hardwired, and unchangeable, that who you are by the time you reach adulthood is who you will remain. Kandel's work proved otherwise. He studied a simple creature called aplysia, a sea slug with only 20,000 neurons. He found that when this creature learned something new, its neurons didn't just store information, they physically changed. Synapses grew stronger, new connections formed, the brain was remodeling itself in real time. This discovery launched a revolution. Scientists gave it a name, neuroplasticity, and it is the single most important scientific truth for anyone who has ever wanted to change their life. Because here is what it means for you. Every thought you think, every habit you repeat, every skill you practice is leaving a physical mark on the structure of your own brain. In 1949, a psychologist named Donald Hebb proposed a rule that became the cornerstone of modern neuroscience. It is simple enough to fit on a single line and profound enough to change your understanding of yourself. Here it is. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Let me show you what this means. Inside your skull, you have roughly 86 billion neurons. Each one is a tiny messenger, reaching out to thousands of others across microscopic gaps called synapses. When you have a thought, a specific pattern of neurons fire in sequence, like dominoes falling, and each time that pattern repeats, the connections between those neurons grow stronger. The pathway becomes wider, faster, smoother, like a dirt path trampled into a paved road by thousands of footsteps. This is not metaphor, this is biology. Recent research has revealed that the brain is even more sophisticated than Hebb imagined. Neurons don't follow just one learning rule, they can employ multiple rules simultaneously, with different branches of the same neuron following different rules. Your brain is not a single machine, it is a living, breathing garden where neural pathways are constantly being strengthened or weakened, built or pruned. One team of researchers observed that neurons can integrate or segregate overlapping inputs by selectively strengthening some connections while leaving others untouched. This means your brain is not just a passive receiver of experience, it is a dynamic sculptor constantly shaping itself in response to where you direct your attention. If you have any doubt that your daily actions change your brain, consider the story of the London taxi drivers. To become a licensed taxi driver in London, a person must learn the knowledge, an exhaustive memorization of over 25,000 streets and thousands of landmarks, all within a 6-mile radius of Charing Cross. It takes 3 to 4 years of grueling study. It is one of the most demanding mental challenges a human can voluntarily undertake. In 2011, researchers at University College London scanned the brains of trainee taxi drivers before they began the knowledge and again after they qualified. The results were astonishing. Those who successfully completed the training had physically grown new grey matter in their posterior hippocampus, the region of the brain responsible for spatial memory and navigation. The researchers concluded that enduring structural brain changes in adult humans can be induced by biologically relevant behaviors, engaging higher cognitive functions. Let that sink in. Adult humans grew new brain tissue, not through pills or surgery, through learning, through repetition, through the daily act of challenging their minds. But here is the most important part of this study. Those who failed the training, no brain changes. Those who quit, no brain changes. The brain did not change because they wanted it to, it changed because they practiced. Day after day, month after month, year after year. Now let me tell you a stranger story. A story that reveals just how powerful and malleable the adult brain truly is. Viliana Ramachandran, a neurologist at the University of California, worked with patients who had lost limbs. These patients suffered from phantom limb pain. They could feel their missing arm or leg as if it were still there, often clenched in a painful position. One patient felt his missing hand was clenched so tightly that his fingernails were digging into his phantom palm. The pain was excruciating. Ramachandran invented a simple device, a cardboard box with a mirror in the middle. The patient placed his remaining hand into the box on one side. When he looked down, The reflection of his healthy hand appeared where his missing hand should be. He was then told to clench and unclench his healthy hand while watching the reflection. For his brain, the illusion was perfect. It saw a hand moving. It believed the phantom limb was obeying commands. Within 2 weeks, the patient's phantom pain vanished. His brain had been tricked into remapping itself. The sensory cortex, which had been sending pain signals from a limb that no longer existed, rewired itself based on new visual information. This is what researchers call latent plasticity, the brain's hidden ability to reorganize, even in adulthood. If a mirror box can rewire the sensory cortex of an amputee, imagine what deliberate practice can do for your habits, your fears, your emotional patterns. Here is something most people don't understand about neuroplasticity. Your brain changes at 2 different speeds. Short-term change happens in seconds and minutes. When you have a powerful experience, a frightening moment, a sudden insight, your synapses can strengthen almost instantly. This is short-term memory. It is real, but it is fragile. It can fade as quickly as it appears. Long-term change is different. To make a change permanent, you need repetition. You need what scientists call long-term potentiation, the strengthening of synaptic connections through repeated activation. Each time you repeat a thought or an action, you are sending a signal to your brain that says, "This is important, make it stronger." But here is the most important part of this entire video. Your brain has a natural, built-in tendency to prune away connections it does not use. The pathways you activate often become stronger and easier to access. The ones you rarely use gradually weaken and may eventually disappear. This is your use it or lose it system. There is immense hope here. Over time, with consistent practice, the new pathways of discipline, patience, and positivity can become your brain's default highways. But there is also a warning. If you spend your days rehearsing worry and self-criticism, you are literally strengthening the neural architecture of anxiety and low self-worth. The brain is completely neutral. It does not care what you build. It only cares that you build. So the question is not whether change is possible. Science has answered that definitively. The question is how to take this knowledge and apply it to your own life. We have arrived at the place where the science ends and your life begins. I am going to ask you a question. Do not answer it immediately. Let it sit. Let it echo. If your brain is literally remodeling itself in response to every thought you think and every action you take, what are you building right now? Are you constructing a mind of patience or a mind of reactivity? A mind of courage or a mind of avoidance? A mind of peace or a mind of constant alert? Your brain does not care what you intend. It only cares what you actually do. The answer comes from neuroscience and ancient wisdom in agreement. Concentration meditation has been shown to increase cortical thickness in regions responsible for attention and sensory processing. Your mental training is not psychological, it is structural. By simply witnessing your thoughts without getting lost in them, you are physically strengthening prefrontal control over the limbic system. But meditation is just one tool. Learning a new language can reshape your auditory cortex. Practicing a musical instrument can increase the volume of gray matter in motor regions. Even a simple cognitive habit, pausing before reacting, re-evaluating criticism, literally carves new pathways over time. Every repeated behavior leaves a trace. The key is specificity. If you want to become more patient, you must practice patience. If you want to become more courageous, you must practice courage. Your brain does not respond to wishes, it responds to action. It responds to repetition. It responds to what you actually do. And here is a final, hopeful note. Neuroplasticity does not require perfection. It requires persistence. The brain changes not in a single massive effort, but in thousands of tiny repetitions. In the words of one researcher, the brain constantly rewires itself in response to new demands. This means it is never too late. You have one brain. It is the only one you will ever have, and it is listening to you every single moment. It is taking notes on everything you do, everything you feel, everything you think, and it is building itself around those patterns. This is not a limitation, it is the greatest freedom ever discovered, because it means you are not stuck, you are not broken, you are not the sum of your past mistakes. You are a living, changing, growing organism, and you hold the tool that shapes you. Every day is a chance to build. Every thought is a brick. Every action is a blueprint. The question is simple. Will you build the mind you want, or will you let your mind be built by accident? The power is in your hands. It has always been in your hands.